The best feedback you can get as a tour guide and the biggest compliment is when people ask questions. I absolutely love it. It means that people are listening, that they are engaged, so it's the best thing when they ask questions. However, to answer these questions, that's not always so easy. Let me share with you some thoughts on that. First of all, I believe it's important to understand if it's a general question or rather a personal question. A general question could be, what year was Zurich built? And a personal question could be, do you think that Switzerland should join the European Union or not? Now, what's true in both cases, always reframe the question. You could say, for example, the gentleman just asked about the date that Zurich was found. Ideally, you also know his or her name. So David asked about the year that Zurich was found. So you reframe the question to make sure that everybody understands the question. And then, of course, you answer that question not only to David, but also to the whole group. Another advantage of reframing the question is also to make sure that you're in control of this question. Sometimes guests just want to provoke. So they could say, oh, you Swiss banks are hiding money from all the dictators, from all the world's dictators. Now, in this case, I wouldn't directly answer. I would rather reframe the question first. I would say, David is asking about undeclared money on Swiss banks. So it sounds much more neutral, much less aggressive. And then I'll be happy to answer again the question to everybody. Let's talk about general questions. Sometimes when people ask a general question, I would answer quickly and quite straight to the point. But sometimes people keep on asking again and again, and you feel they really want to dig more about this subject. And often this is not what the majority of the people want to hear. So he wants to get more information on a specific subject while the majority just doesn't care. So here it's important to try to make a win-win situation by saying, oh, thank you very much for these questions. I see that's a very interesting subject. I'll be happy to discuss it with you after the tour or to have a coffee with you. That's great, so everybody is happy. And you can continue with the tour. Now, just one little side note, if you don't know the answer, just be honest. Just say, well, that's a great question, I don't know. I will look it up and write to you after the tour. And then please do so. Look it up and write to the person after the tour. When we speak about personal questions, that's a bit more difficult. When, for example, a person asks me, and this happens very often, do you think that Switzerland should join the European Union or not? This is a very tricky question, and I wouldn't answer these questions, definitely not in front of the group. I don't want to start a political discussion, so I remain neutral, which is anyway very easy for me as a Swiss. So I could say, for example, oh, gentleman asks about Switzerland joining the European Union, about my opinion on that. I think that's a very personal question, and I'd be very happy to discuss it with those who are interested in that after the tour when having a coffee later this afternoon. So also in this case, everybody is happy. The one who wants to know more about my personal opinion, and also the others who just don't care and want the tour to be continued. Now, I'm quite curious to read what you think about it. How would you answer these questions? Share it with us.